We're saying this stuff because we know.
I don't understand how people can't see it.
Your clients or your potential clients, your followers, do not know what you know.
You need to get into their head.
I don't see anyone doing it.
Hello. In this video, we're going to talk to you about how to get inside the head of your ideal client.
Ooh, there's a hook.
There's the hook.
Hey guys, we're Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, formerly Biceps and Banter. And we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can, while Mike mimes it back to me as I sit and look at him. So today we're going to talk a little bit about something that we've mentioned quite a few times already this year with our coaches, with our clients, that I think is really, really important when it comes to accurately describing what it is that you do. And I think it's something that a lot of coaches struggle with. And we've had to pull up a lot of our clients about it and have to remind them about it. It's in our copy clinic that we do. So we have our members group where we talk about it a fair bit, but then we have our one-to-one clients. They have a copy clinic where we sit and literally critique their copy so they can all get better and they can all improve and see what mistakes they're making. And that's where this kind of came from. So you're getting a bit of an insight into the one-to-one nature of the stuff we do now. But the members group is the best place to start working with us, to get involved. It's just £99 a month. There are 0 contracts, and you get every single training that we have ever done and ever produced for all of our one-to-one clients. They don't get anything extra other than the copy clinic. The Monday calls that we do, we're not hiding anything. We're not gatekeeping anything for our one-to-one clients. They get the same trainings. If you sit and apply what is in that group, you can get the same results that they're getting for just £99 a month, which I believe will be less than what most of you are charging for a client a month. So if you tell me you can't afford that, then I don't think we can help you, to be honest, with that. So links in the description below. If you want to join it, head on over. It's going to cost you 99 quid to find out how good it is, and there's no contracts. So you've got nothing to lose. Whereas most people out there are charging you 6 grand.
You've got 99 quid to lose.
I'd argue it's not a loss though, Michael. I would argue that you've learnt something valuable from that.
Well, there you go.
I would argue. And it's better than spending 5 or 6 grand up front and having solicitors being sent around your house when you refuse to pay it because it's a load of shit. Controversial.
Went in there with Barry. That's for £1 million or nothing.
They give it for nothing option.
Nothing.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
what it should have said.
It should have said it was £1 million or £1,000. No, it's 500, isn't it? £500. And we'd have, got something. £500.
£500.
Yeah. Extras.
I think extras is definitely underrated with that. But anyway,
it's really good. Like the Darren Lamb
character,
Barry from EastEnders, like that.
Dynamic is good, isn't it?
Very good.
So this is brought about because obviously we sit and like I said, we critique people's copy, coaches' copy. And I think one of the really important things to remember here is that your clients or your potential clients, your followers, do not know what you know. They do not know what's in your head. And we talk a lot about content and sharing like your coaching and what you do and what you provide and all these sorts of things. And not enough coaches go into enough detail. And I'm going to give you an example of this, right? So what we might see in an email for a group launch or for a launch in general, even captions sometimes for content, right? Someone, and this is an example I'm going to use, Mike might use some other examples that we can kind of run with later on, is that if you write something like, you get bespoke coaching, right? Let's just say you write that in a caption or an email somewhere, this isn't like all those other things you've done. This is bespoke one-to-one coaching, right? If you just leave it at that, you are leaving it up to your client or potential client, your follower, the person reading it, to use their reference points to know what that means. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, that this person that's reading this email has had 2 coaches before in the past. And they both gave a meal plan that was chicken, broccoli and rice. But before that person signed up with those 2 coaches advertised their coaching as bespoke one-to-one coaching. Let's just assume that, right? If I'm that client there and I read that email and it says, with my 8-week program, you get bespoke one-to-one coaching, let's just say as an example, right? If you don't expand upon that, that person reading its reference points are, well, that's a chicken and broccoli meal plan then. Because that's what I've had before. What coaches aren't doing is explaining what that means. They're just using this terminology. They're just using these words that just don't actually mean anything. And that, because I know that coach, what that coach means is that they'll look over an assessment week, they'll get them on the phone and ask them some questions about things they're allergic to, things they like, what they don't like, their timetable, their schedule, what they like to do when they eat out. And then they'll create a nutrition plan around all that, and they'll check in with them every single week, making sure that they can move things around in it. But unless you say that, the person reading it has no clue that that's what is involved. And then what happens is coaches get annoyed when people don't reach out and go, oh, no one's really reached out. And it's because their copy is so what we call nondescript. It's leaving a lot of the a lot of the thought in people's minds is that they're going to, again, use their own reference points. And with copywriting, and when you write, you need to be very, very clear in what you say. You need to tell people what it is. You can't just leave it up to interpretation, because that is where I think a lot of the issues arise with coaching, and why I think a lot of coaches aren't understood by their audience, and why their audience aren't that excited sometimes about reaching out to them for coaching, because I think their clients think, I don't really know what it is, mate. And just because coaches know, and they're really excited about it, and they know it's great, they just never explain it. They just say the words. And we see it a lot in, we see it in loads of different examples, right, within that, and even like with how, coaches describe things to their clients.
Yeah, loads. Like another one that we regularly have to pull up is get in shape. What shape? Like, let's just say, for example, ready to get in the shape of your life in 2025. Said every online coach under the sun. Well, that's the same as the next person and the next person, and the next person, and the next person. What shape? It's 2025. Just like 2024, you're turning up with too much fat around your midsection, hating how you look in and out of clothes, and trying the same diet plan as you do every other year. Describe what's going on. Ready to get in the shape of your life. So tell them what's that shape, what that shape is. Ready to finally lose that ring of fat that's around the lower stomach and your lower back. Ready to not have an overhang as you pull up your boxer shorts. Ready to actually tighten up your shirt around your chest and build bigger biceps.
Not have to hold your t-shirt down when you take your jumper off all the time in the changing room, worried about what people are going to think.
Yeah, suck your stomach in when you're talking.
Worried that you can't wear a white t-shirt because it might go see-through. Yeah. And you're worried about what's underneath. It's about being so descriptive that people go, yeah, that's literally what happens to me. That's me. That's what I go through. And I think that a lot of coaches as well, they use, I think as well, a lot of examples that I just don't think people actually feel. I've said this before, we talked about the whole, a lot of coaches say skyrocket your confidence, right? I've never met a single person that's come to me and goes, do you know what, Dan, I really wish I could skyrocket my confidence. Not a single person ever has said that to me, ever. Even about their business, and I see fucking businessmen all say the same fucking thing, right? It's like using words that just don't mean anything. And it's like, no, let's talk about what confidence actually is, because for a lot of people, it's not just, to be able to have sex with the lights on. It's like, is that really, how many people have really said that to you? Really? And maybe they have, right? Maybe they haven't. I don't know. But there comes a point where I think with a lot of people, the embarrassment comes in much more subtle ways and much more subtle places. And I can always tell the coaches that don't understand their clients and their prospective clients because they don't use those subtle things. They think it's not enough. And I just use a couple there. Where, for example, I know previously I've been in a position where, again, taking my jumper off, I always want to make sure my t-shirt's held down. It's just an example, a personal example, right? Whereas I tell you when I didn't worry about that was when I was fucking in shape. Didn't worry about it at all. And I think that you have to explain these things to people, and we see it all the time, right? People are like, I work with busy entrepreneurs. I'm like, well, you don't, because if you knew anything about busy entrepreneurs, you know that they don't want to skyrocket their confidence, around a pool, because they don't spend time around a pool. You just, again, it just shows you don't understand the audience that you're working with. And I think that when it comes to copywriting, it's one of the things we pull up our coaches on all the time. Is breaking stuff when they're doing podcasts is really not a good idea. No, it's not. You're not breaking it, mate. It's just pulled off. It's just being aware of what people actually want, and I just don't think many coaches speak to their clients, ask their clients these questions. I'm always really diligent with the coaches I work with, and I ask them why they want to work with me specifically. Once they've signed up, I go, right, what was it you're struggling with? How have you felt so far in the first 4 weeks? How's it been different? Do you know where I use those answers? In my content, in my captions. So that I sit there and go, do you know what? I know how you feel after 4 weeks in another place. I know how you feel after you paid all that money out and you feel like you've been absolutely robbed because you get in there and it's shit. I know, because I ask the people that have been through it. And I don't think many coaches ask their clients what they're going through or what they've been through or what they're doing this for or why they're doing it. And it comes back to knowing your niche, and it comes back to knowing their pain points. And again, I come back to it. Skyrocketing confidence ain't a fucking thing that I want. It's not. Getting in the shape of your life. What does that mean? People don't know what that means. People don't know what they're capable of. And people go, get in the shape of your life. To me, that means just losing a bit more, half a stone. I'd be in the shape of my life then. Again, not me personally. I've been in photo shoot shape. But for most people, I don't think they know what that is. And again, so you can feel like you did in your 20s. People can't remember that. They could live a completely different life now. They're never going to feel the way they did in their 20s because they've got kids, they've got a mortgage, they've got responsibilities. When they were 20, they were carefree, didn't give a fuck. I just don't think that anymore you can say these things because they don't mean anything. You have to get into the daily struggles, the daily pressures, daily anxieties. And they're usually small things that add up massively over time. And the coaches that I see doing well and getting clients are the ones that are saying this stuff in their content, dropping it into their captions, and they're being super specific about the end goal, how they feel after 4 weeks, 8 weeks, all these sorts of things. And they speak their client's language. Whereas most coaches sound like they swallow a thesaurus and, well, unlike me, can speak properly. They just sound like they just want to sound clever. They just want to sound like they're big and that they're fancy and that they're better than everyone else. And that's not what people want out of someone that they're going to trust to get them in shape, usually. They want to know someone that is relatable, on authority, gets them, understands what's going on in their head, rather than talking down to them all the time and just, frankly, talking gibberish for half of it.
Yeah, what's ironic is that because literally nobody says skyrocket your confidence, there will have been the first PT that adopted that phrase, that came up with that, right? And the irony of it is that every other coach is then copied that, because it's not something that would naturally come into your vocabulary, right? It's not something that is such an everyday phrase that we would all kind of use it. It's somebody's seen it and gone, oh, I like that, take it. And the next person, take it. So now that this industry only talks about skyrocketing your confidence.
Imagine seeing an advert for a plumber.
Like
skyrocket your plumbing.
Like, it just doesn't, like, and the irony being is that you're all copying a piece of language that actually nobody else says. Like, you're all wrong, which is bizarre. So, like, I wrote an email about why I don't have a coach, yet that we're arguably people's target market. Because I speak to a lot of my clients and it's like, oh, busy professional, of course. But it's too busy to train, would like to get back in better shape again, doesn't really have much time, knows the value of coaching, can afford coaching, that kind of thing, right? And I go, tick, 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 tick. And I go, yeah, I would actually like to be in better shape. Why have I not? Well, my perception is that I know how much effort it would take. There's no, like, I don't... What I certainly wouldn't subscribe to or be bought in by is somebody that's telling me they're going to skyrocket the confidence, because I know that it's bullshit. Like, it feels bullshit. It feels too out there. And it's the subtle things, like Dan said. So just take one of his points. It would speak much more to myself if it was having to hold your t-shirt down every time you take your jumper off. Are you really going to accept that? You've been telling yourself that you're going to get back in shape now for ages, and yet you haven't done it. There's a reason why you haven't done it. It's because you're giving yourself an excuse every single time that you say that you're going to stay on track with your food, but then something comes up and you eat a little bit more than what you should do. An excuse every time that you know that you should go to the gym, but you don't make the time, even though you could do. That's where I will hold you accountable to X, Y, like that stuff, and calling me out on the bullshit stuff that I say to myself in my head. And that's not just me. That's your client. You need to get into their head. What are the excuses they tell themselves as to why they haven't done it yet? What's their language? What do they say? Because I know what I say to myself. You're actually not eating that much, Mike. Mm-hmm. Call me out on it. You are, because you're overweight. Call me out on it. You're training 3 or 4 times a week. It's good enough. It's not good enough. I'm not training hard enough. Call me out on it. Call me out on it. Because you know deep down, call me out on it. And I tell you what, I would respect that. And if it was from somebody that was walking the walk, doing the things that I would want to do, and I felt like I liked them, that's what would make me sign up. I'm not talking now. I'm not literally talking now. Don't go and try to impress me. Actually, do try to impress me, but at the same time, like, that's not the point of this. I'm talking about getting into the language that they speak and calling me out on the things that's in there, and the things that Dan's feeling, and the things that fucking your clients feel. What is it that they say to themselves? Because they don't say things like, oh, I'd love to skyrocket my confidence.
Yeah, no one sit there, are they, with a bottle of beer watching a football going, do you know what, love? I really wish I could skyrocket my confidence.
No, instead they go, I'm fucking sick of this. I shouldn't have had this again. But I'm here now. I'm sick of it. Call them out on it. You don't need to be nasty. Just call out the behaviours and show them that you understand that that's what's happening, and here's how I'll solve it.
It's really subtle things like you just said there, and I think that I just randomly thinking then, I was just sat there then, I was like, do you know what? I know exactly who you'd work with. I know exactly someone that you would want to work with, right? In my mind, it's someone who is in pretty good nick, is happy to take their top off, probably post the fact that they're happy to take their top off regularly, like, you know, whether it's in stories, whether it's getting ready or whatever. I think it would be someone who probably films their workouts and shows the audience that they're done in 40 minutes. Show them from 0 to 40 minutes and go, there you go, full body session, 0 to 40 minutes, 3 times a week. And that they also go out on a night out and they have a couple of drinks and they go out for a takeaway, they go out for a nice meal with the missus, sushi, something in a nice restaurant. They show that every weekend. That person, right, calling you out like that would be the sort of person you'd work with, I think. It's someone who does, funny enough, what you want to be doing, right? And I just think that, I ask coaches all the time. People say, oh, I help you, you know, you only have to train 3 times a week for 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, but you don't. You do 5 times a week for 2 hours. Be the person that does it. And I literally go in there with a stopwatch and I'd have it running and I'll show the camera. I do a vlog. Every time I go in there, I chop it down into 1.5 minute Instagram video. Show me that. And at the end, you might take your top off. You might be like, yeah, look, I'm standing decent. Nick still look pretty good. Got a good pump on. I'd show me in a busy gym. All the squat racks are taken. Here's what I do instead. Do this, do this, do this, do that. That's the sort of person that Mike would probably sign up. Again, after a good period of time and you know, seeing their stories that they watch football, they enjoy watching football, have good banter with their mates. They're not just solely fucking fitness and just eating out of Tupperware all the time. Some mornings they might skip breakfast, some mornings they might have egg white omelets, some mornings they might have avocado, whatever. But I don't see anyone doing it. You don't, do you? I don't see anyone doing it. No. And you asked me this question earlier. You said, who, you know, if there's any coaches you would you work with any? I sit there and I was like, no, because I'm into my golf now anyway. For me, I'd rather be on the golf course than doing fitness stuff. But then I go, okay, who's my golf coach? Well, my golf coach is an authority down at the golf club. He's the head guy, works with PGA professionals. That's why I go, he's an authority. And again, we talk regularly, but then I also look at his stuff on Instagram. And again, he practices what he preach.
Yeah, it's Ghost.
It's Ghost. He practices what he preaches with. He plays tennis, quite high level. He's got a coach himself, like works out. He's in good shape, talks good talk. He's like me, he swears. He's not happy. He's happy to call me out and shit. That's why I'm still working with him. And you asked me the question, you said, who was the last coach you had? And I said, Justin Canusi. I said, exactly the same reason. Like, I know him, like him, in great shape, posts all the time, he's fucking busy. I know he's busy. That's why you see him at the fucking gym. Gets in, gets out, does a hybrid style training, which again, for me, I couldn't think of anything worse and more boring than bodybuilding right now. We're saying this stuff because we know. I think coaches think we're just saying it. It's like, no, I'm not just saying it. It's like Mike said, ask yourself, why have I not signed up with you? Why have I not signed up with you? Something's missing, isn't it? Something is missing with that. And I just don't think people are actually understanding what, for example, busy entrepreneurs are going through. I just don't think that they get it. Because a busy entrepreneur still wants to dress up nice at the weekend. They want to go out for a nice meal. They want to be able to drink an old-fashioned fucking in a nice fucking dark, gloomy kind of like club. And take a picture on Instagram for it, right? Yeah, dimly lit so you can't see anyone. Yeah. And they do want to feel confident in their clothes. I would argue that out of their clothes, they're not actually as arse. They probably just want to feel better in there. I don't know, but my point is that I'm not in shape, so I wouldn't know, right? And I'm never going to go to those places. But it's like, I just don't think many coaches really get inside the mind of that person. I don't think they ever ask the questions. I don't think they actually truly know. And this is all brought about because I saw the other day, like a guy trying to, again, reach entrepreneurs. And it was like, one of the second things he said was skyrocket your confidence. I just thought, entrepreneurs are going to look at that and laugh. Absolutely laugh.
They're probably already pretty confident. Entrepreneurs.
And you could even argue that's probably why they let some of their physique go, because you know what? Because don't fucking need that to be my calling card anymore.
Literally. Literally.
Because they're content within themselves, because they know they've got success in other areas. I come back to it with golf all the time. I said this to a client the other day. I said it to them. I said, I got no problem saying that my golf and what I want to achieve at is purely ego driven. I've got no problem. One of the reasons that I want to become a scratch golfer and get to 0 handicap, right, is because when I walk into a room of people and they go, oh yeah, Dan plays golf. Oh, do you play? I play golf. Yeah. What do you play off? Scratch. Every single fucking person that stood there that plays golf goes, fair play. Every single one of them. Because they know what it takes. They know the level. They know what it feels like. Well, they don't know what it feels like. That's the point. They know what it feels like to be shit and to not be at that level where they can be good. Bit harsh saying that people are shit. But that for me is an ego thing. It's exactly the same with the photo shoot. I did it because it was like, well, no one else can do it. People just don't do it. I want to do things that people haven't done. And that, again, with entrepreneurs, that's what they do. And I just don't think people talk to them in the right way. And again, the same with even busy mums. You come back to all this thing. I just don't think that they talk to them in the right way. I've heard that one before to dads, like, oh, you feel guilty for leaving the kids. It's like, respectfully, when I go and train or go golf, I don't feel guilty. for not spending more time with my kids. I don't actually get that. I'm not riddled with guilt. I'm really not. I'm there enough for my kid. I'm there enough. I'm providing a future for them by working all these other things. I just think coaches say these things because they've heard it once, or they heard some guru say it, and they just run with it all this time. And I don't think they actually understand the bottom line. And it's probably more so like you'd want your kid to say, "My dad looks like a superhero. My dad looks like he's got big muscles." That's probably what you want him to say. It's probably what you want him to say. My dad can run after me. My dad's strong.
Yeah.
My dad plays games with me.
You want to stack up against all the other dads.
My dad can be a scary monster and we play games. He can run around forever. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the kid saying it. It's not me saying, "Oh, I want to be the fittest dad in the school line." No, not asked. I want to be the best golfer in the school line, for sure. But like, fittest wise, I think I look all right. I look in decent shape. I certainly look better than most people that go there. And it's just like, I just don't think that, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think many coaches really understand the ego side of it. And they don't understand that. I don't think necessarily wanting to be the best. It's just not wanting to be the worst half the time. It's just not wanting to be the absolute worst. It's not wanting to be at the bottom of the barrel. I don't know. But my point is, I shouldn't know anymore. I only need to know about coaches, and I need to know what you struggle with and what you don't know. It's your job to figure it out from a fitness point of view with other people.
Yeah. I think we've hammered that to death.
We haven't, and look, we say it loads, and it's all in the members group. I know it's another plug for it, but literally, it's the one thing that I get. I had it from a client the other day. She joined, and she said, "I've never had anyone explain a niche to me before, like you've done it in that video. Been in 2 other mentorships, never had it explained the way you explain it," which just shows you. And we're giving it now for free, by the way. This is a small insight. We go loads deeper into it, right? But that is it. That is exactly what we do and what we're good at and what no one else is doing. And I don't mind saying it like that because it's true.
We talk about the niche stuff, right? And let's just pick one. Let's just say dads, like you just said. Dan's a dad. And I don't think I can recall ever a single piece of content that was, "Dads, here's how you can do this." But did he work with a lot of dads? Yeah, probably. Why did he? Because he's a dad. Because he showed himself getting in shape, eating, managing busy schedule. Like, he gets it now. He's
I get people who say, "Why do you choose me over Mike?" Right? I ask that question. I ask a question. I think, "Why do you want to specifically work with me?" And one of them is, "Well, you're a family man, and I want to learn how to balance it all."
And he's not a business mentor for dads. Like, and people get it so far wrong. They're so far wrong with it. Mm-hmm. Like, and we talk about, like, we had a conversation earlier about, like, back in the day about, you know, the elite coaches in the industry, where it was like the industry weren't as saturated as what it is now, right? And you've got like your Lane Nortons and people like that, right, who are highly educated, in shape, etc. Again, we spoke about, because the conversation came about coaches being in shape, right? And I said, if you're not, you need to be fucking on it education wise, like Lyle McDonald. Like, it needs to be, you know, the ins and outs of fucking everything. You are so switched on and you rely on your knowledge, right? Yet people aren't. And coaches are accepting being average knowledge base, average shape, average work ethic, and they're
average understanding of a niche, like
they're happy to be average and expecting an above average return, right? And you look at the elite people, and none of them will be going down and going, "I work with busy this or dad's that." They show what they're doing, and the client or the prospective client makes up their mind that they're the right fit for them because of what they're doing with their content, their life, their knowledge, their shape, etc. Dan didn't need to call out dads or have a hook for dads. He didn't need to. He just gets them. He will also probably get a greater percentage of people that play golf than I do, because he talks to them about golf. He's not a business coach for online coaches who like golf. He talks about golf. So,
but that's what people do, their niche, isn't it? Literally, they do that.
It's like so backwards. It's like, no. He works with online coaches and he knows the pain points. And the pain points is that the business isn't moving anywhere. They may or may not have been burned by somebody else in a previous mentorship. All they're being told to do is cold DM. They've probably been charged up front. They've probably been told to charge up front. They've probably been passed off to a success coach, something like that. They don't know their niche. They're unable to be consistent with their content. Because of that, they don't really know what metrics to look at or how to judge what their content does. They say things like, "Nothing really happened when I posted that. I'm not getting anything back. No leads are coming through. I don't know what to do with outreach. What should I do on my stories?" Like, I can reel it all off now. So what content do we make? And then a lot of them just so happen to be dads or mums or golfers because of the stuff that he does alongside that, being a dad and a golfer. I don't understand how people can't see it.
There you go. Finish it there. Go look for it. Think about it. Ask your clients. That's one of the key things I think coaches don't do. Ask your clients this stuff. You'll get a gold mine of information. See you in a bit.
Bye.